Calvin, can you hear
Hello?
me there?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All
Thank you
right.
for taking the time, to say the very least. It is an honor to be speaking with one of the first five announced participants of the 2021 Opera Cup. How long did you have to keep it a secret that you were going to be in the Opera Cup?
Uh, Really not too long. I believe Court shot me a message and said the thing about put me in. What I think of that opportunity? I said I'd jump at the opportunity. So a couple of days later, it got announced, and now seeing all the rest of the names announced really got me excited.
Yeah.
Some of the top talent you can find anywhere, and a lot of these guys are guys that I grew up idolizing. You know what I mean? So being able to test myself against those guys is something I'm really looking forward to. And I really want to take this tournament and use it to make people really know who I am.
A lot of people are looking at you as the favorite to win it. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really good. It's kind of new to me, I guess I'd say. With the limited time I've been on the roster, it's just been a year now, and with everything that's gone on through the pandemic. So it's really let me know I'm on the right track, but I know that the journey's not over. Still got to keep my eyes on the prize, and it doesn't matter unless I come home with that Opera Cup. So.
Sure. Do you have a space already picked out for where that Opera Cup would go? Like, for example, some people win Grammys. They want it the first thing that's seen in the house, and then other people use it as the toilet paper holder. And other people just put it in the attic, or they give it to a nephew. Which one are you if you win this?
I don't know, man. That's kind of difficult. Like, honestly, I'd have to ask the queen of the house. I'd have to ask my daughter and see what she thinks, because she sees something shiny that's decorative, and she's gonna want to. Oh, Dad, we can put it here. We can put it here. Or she'll want to take it to school for show and tell. She loves wearing my shirts to school and being like, my dad's a famous pro wrestler. So we'll see.
Yeah. Her dad's on TV, simply put. International TV. What's MLW in like 25 countries now? 30, 40, whatever it is. They're chanting for the heavyweight hustle all over the world. That's what it is. And related to that question about the trophy per se, when you speak to musicians, you either see that their home is like a shrine to their career, or you would never know a musician lives in that house. Is there a lot of wrestling stuff in your home?
Yeah. I kind of like my first couple years in professional wrestling, I wasn't thinking about like the memories and things that I wanted to like show people. I just knew that I wanted to get out and like, make a name for myself. So like now that like I'm starting to do things and like really think about like, wow, like 6 years ago before I started training, like I would have never thought that I'd be here. Like now it's to the point where I'm starting to like take some few things. Like I was at a show and we had fans made like fat heads of me.
Yeah.
And brought it to an indie show. And so they literally gave me one because they said they wanted me to have it. So I literally have it. I'm just waiting for a place to put it up on the wall. So yeah, now I'm starting to collect memorabilia. I just got to figure out where I'm going to put them.
Are you getting DM'd a lot of like fan photos that are drawn of you? Like, hey, here's what Calvin looks like.
I had a few. I've had not necessarily like fan art, but I've had like graphic designers reach out and be like, look, I made this t-shirt design. Like, I just want you to use it. And then I look at it, I'm like, dude, this just blew me away. Like, I didn't even ask. The fact that you just felt moved to do this, that type of stuff. Like, when someone's that talented and wants to use their talent, because I made such an impression on them, that's super cool to me.
Well, the key is they're thinking of you 24/7. Somebody's thinking of you somewhere right now, and that must be a mind-blowing kind of thing. But back to you and your journey, is there a career accomplishment that you're most proud of at this point in time? Is it being in the Opera Cup?
Yeah, I'd have to say like this is probably the biggest stage that I'm gonna have. Like I said before, with literally some of the top tier talent out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is something that like literally could take my career to the next level, and I'm definitely not taking that lightly, you know. So yeah, in my young career, especially in my MLW career, I mean, the only thing I could say is the world title match against Jacob Fatu, and that was something that like I was just coming in the doors, basically had a few matches under my belt and got that opportunity. Now that I'm settled in for a year now and really getting more comfortable, and the lights don't seem as bright to me, it's time to really show the world what I can do.
And the Opera Cup is at the 2300 Arena, which is a historic building if you're a wrestling fan. So many of those great ACW moments happened there. I don't know if other major wrestling companies ever ran events there, but at the very least, all those great ECW things happened there. For you, is wrestling in Philadelphia any different than any other city? Are the crowds as opinionated as they say they are?
Definitely. Philly and that area, I mean, like, you have ECW, like everyone says, but I mean, really, like, it goes even deeper, like, after that, because Philly became the epicenter for, like, indie wrestling at one point, because you had companies like CZW that were the first top, like, indie companies in the early 2000s that were running there, and a lot of the guys are seeing on TV now that we regard as some of the best of the last 15 years. Literally, that building molded and shaped them even after ECW. So being a fan of that and having guys like Ruckus as a guy that inspired me to get into the ring, period. So every time I step into the ECW arena, it's a big deal for me. We were there, I believe it was July, and that was my first time wrestling in the arena. And the amount of nerves and just the smile you couldn't wipe off my face after, that was a really big moment for me. So I hold every chance I get to do something in that arena very close to me.
And now that it's, not your first time going back there, do you already in the back of your mind have your after show meal spot picked out? You don't have to spoil it for me, but does it involve cheesesteaks? Do you already know where you're going to celebrate?
So really, I have to hit up Rhino, because we were at a random indie show last summer, and it was right before the tapings, and he told me, he was like, everybody's going to tell you one of these two places, not these places for the best cheesesteak. He told me a place to get a pizza cheesesteak, which I've never heard of. And I'll have to like send him a DM or something to get the name of that restaurant again. But that's probably the next place I'm going to have to try out.
I'd have to imagine that itself is as exciting as potentially winning the Opera Cup pizza cheesesteak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Well, someone that spent as much time down there as Rhino, if he's telling me, you know what I mean? That's almost as good as someone that lives there telling me. So.
Sure. Well, 2 quick questions, and then you're a free man from doing this section of your media day. And the first one is, when you're not wrestling, when you're not with family, when you're not training, where does the time go? Any surprising hobbies?
I like to make beats. Learning to produce music has always been something that's been close to me. My dad is a preacher, so I grew up a preacher's kid. I grew up playing drums and some guitar in church. And then as I got older, my best friend, we grew up listening to a lot of hip hop together. And then as we got older, he got more into metal. He's the one that taught me guitar. So he started producing his own music. And just watching him do that, like, caught my attention. So then I was just like bugging him and asking him questions, to the point now where I've like bought my own computer and my own software, and I'm kind of like learning myself from YouTube and everything. So when I have some free time, I like to sit around and make some music.
If this totally goes off script here, have you ever talked gear with Hammerstone? Because that's a man who plays a couple instruments himself.
No, I haven't. We were actually shared a room together in Seattle a couple months ago, and we talked about everything but guitar. And now that you said that, I totally forgot, because every once in a while I'll see him post videos of him playing guitar, and I totally spaced.
Yeah, there's a video of him playing the theme song of former MLW star MJF somewhere on Instagram or YouTube. So the guy can play, what can we say? And my last question for you is, do you have besides MLW's TV programming. Do you have a TV program that you could recommend to someone who needs a new show to start?
Ooh. Oh. So, I'm not a huge TV person. Like, I watch TV like an old person, and I watch like Forensic Files, like before I go to bed. So like, I watch that in sports or like in like wrestling. So like, along the lines of that, Mindhunter on Netflix. Have you ever seen that?
I have not
Yeah,
seen
canceled.
one.
There's only one season, but it's basically about like the beginnings of the FBI studying psychology behind murders and like classifying serial killers and how they figure that out. And then it like goes through and they literally are like in prison, like interviewing like Manson or like just different serial killers back in the day, you know what I mean? From like the 60s and 70s and 80s. And it's kind of based off a true story. It's a really good plot. But after the first season, they canceled it and ruined everything for me. So,
a little birdie has just told me that there's a second season of that show, which I have not seen. So I think you have to do a little Googling after we hang up here. But I thought that you were going to say like a really obscure sketch comedy show. I pegged you as a closeted alt comedy guy.
Ooh, like what do you mean alt comedy? Like Key and Peele?
Key and Peele's on the fringe of that. I thought that you were going to say, I think you should leave on Netflix, that was going to be your TV pick. I don't know why I pegged you as one of the fans, but oh well.
No.
I'm learning new things every day. But Calvin, Mr. Tankman, thank you for your time. Best of luck with the Opera Cup, and looking forward to seeing some championship gold on you in the near future.
I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you.
Paltrocast.